Coming to you live from the Ray Horseman Studio in North Hollywood, California, it's Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, your comedy field guide to life. Tonight, let's talk about trees. Jim Hardie, Director of Park Operations for Tree People, is here to help us saw through knotty questions that might stump intellectual saplings. He'll get to the root of why Theodore Roosevelt said, quote, "To exist as a nation, to prosper as a state, to live as a people, we must have trees." Plus, an Anne Margaret sighting. How's she holding up? Better than Elvis. I'm Adam Felber, this show's topical arborist, trying to keep our conversation growing gracefully along a single branch. And now, please welcome the woman who happily grafts a topical dogwood onto a conversational flowering hibiscus, Paula Poundstone.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Paula, and a big thank you to tonight's house band, returning champion accordionist, Alexei Chebaluk.
Fantastic.
Alexei, welcome back. It's great to have you, man. And I love that La Vie en Rose. Thank you. Paula, I understand that you ran into legendary performer Anne Margaret.
I did. I was at a USO event, and Anne Margaret was being honored with the first annual Bob Hope USO Performer Award, and there she was.
Yeah.
Anne Margaret. And I made my way over to her, and I leaned down because she was sitting, and I whispered to her that you and I had recently watched Viva Las Vegas.
We reviewed it on this very program.
And I can't remember why we watched it. What film were we connecting it to?
This was your idea. We were...
Lion King.
Lion King.
Wasn't it?
Yes, the live-action Lion King was coming out, so we, in order to let people know...
if they should watch the live-action Lion King...
Did we watch the original Lion King? We did not.
No, we watched Viva Las Vegas because it had the king of rock and roll.
Yes, the king of rock and roll.
And we recommended people not watch the Lion King because Viva Las Vegas
was a terrible movie.
But I didn't say that to Anne Margaret. What I said to Anne Margaret is what we said to one another, was that Elvis was all but unwatchable, and you couldn't take your eyes off her.
You could not take your eyes off her.
She's
unbelievable in it. And you told her that.
Yes, I did tell her that.
Wow, did that go well?
Yeah, and I said Elvis was awful, and she was like, "Oh, I love Elvis. I love Elvis."
You said Elvis was awful?
I did.
Yeah.
I love him singing. I just meant in that particular film.
But you're aware that during the filming of Viva Las Vegas, as we covered on this program, she and Elvis had a torrid and very satisfying love affair.
No, how do you know whether or not Anne Margaret was satisfied by Elvis?
Because she says so.
She did?
Yeah, I think so.
No. What, were you in, like, the hotel room next door?
Yeah, I had a glass against the wall like they do in the old movies.
That's just right, Elvis.
But you put down her old boyfriend.
Well, I didn't mean to. I didn't know they were old.
That was
insensitive. I didn't know that. I wasn't listening at the wall the way you were. I had no idea.
You apparently weren't listening at the podcast we recorded together either.
I tend to drift. You know what? She was very pleased to hear how much we enjoyed her performance, and
I'm so glad.
And they showed at this event. They showed a clip of her performing at the USO. I think this might have been in Vietnam. I can't swear to it. And oh my gosh,
Vietnam was in the smack dab middle of her heyday.
She was great.
Yeah,
and
no
the
doubt.
Troops really were loving it. And congratulations, Anne Margaret. But you know what, Adam? I have been so excited all day to tell you about this. I want to thank you for wearing your Argyle sweater vest, and Tony is wearing her peplos.
Yeah.
I was over with Tom Hanks just before the show began.
Okay.
He's over. We're kind of using Roger Federer's store as like a green room because there's no more room in this.
There's so much untruth here.
I came early to bring the petty force and Mrs. Culpepper agreed not to wear her ruby sateen dress.
Now, to review for our listeners who might have been paying about as much attention to our podcast as you do, Tom Hanks, according to Paula,
you're keeping Tom Hanks waiting. But go ahead.
Has agreed. I'm keeping him waiting.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Has agreed to appear on our
He's
our program.
the nicest guy in Hollywood, but he
had
some conditions.
He had some conditions,
and we seem to have met those conditions.
We've got the Argyle sweater vest.
Yeah, he wanted Adam to wear an Argyle sweater vest. He loves Tony in her traditional Greek peplos.
Boy, I would love to hear you try to say traditional Greek peplos again.
Traditional Greek peplos.
That's
he
better.
did not want Mrs. Culpepper to wear her
Mrs. Culpepper, the Southern gentry hand puppet that you've introduced.
That's right. So I'm not wearing my ruby sateen dress on behalf of Tom Hanks.
I thought you didn't
coming
truckle to
here.
Tom Hanks.
I do not like to truckle to Tom Hanks, but it seems so important to Paula and I love Paula.
I know you do. You're quite attached to her.
And Tom Hanks, I'm a little titillated myself, not as much as Aunt Margaret may have been with Elvis, but nonetheless, I'm very excited to say that we saw Tom Hanks over at Roger Federer. So we saw Tom Hanks over at Roger Federer's.
Yes.
He was waiting there.
Again, not
to come
Roger
on the
Federer's
show.
store. It's an appliance store called Feder.
No, it's Roger Federer's.
No, it's the sign
It's
is
Roger,
quite clear.
It's Roger
a missing
Federer's.
ER.
He got, Adam, you can't win every fucking tennis game. You gotta have a backup.
I do understand that.
So
But that's not his
Tom
backup.
Hanks is over there. I want to thank Roger Federer, who only regrets that he can never come to see the show because he's, selling the microwaves. But we got the pet. Where are the pedophores?
They're right
Because
here.
I came early to bring. Wait a minute. Is that fucking llama still in the room?
Yeah, that's the llama that Anthony Alfaro, our engineer, brought last week.
Shit! Look at it. It's got the pedophore box over there.
I'm sure
Motherfucker.
Tom Hanks will understand.
No, he won't come without the pedophores. God damn it, Anthony Alfaro.
So what, are you going to have to go outside now and tell him not to come in?
I guess.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go tell him.
All right.
Now, for you listening out there, I don't know what Paula's doing out there, but I'm willing to guarantee to you that she's not going to talk to Tom Hanks and Roger Federer and assure them that that pedophores will be back next week. But as long as I have an opportunity to tell you people this, it's what we're going to try to do tonight is what I've been wanting to do for.
The llama ate the pedophores. Son of a bitch. He just took off. Did you hear that car?
No.
You didn't hear that car?
No.
Yeah, Tom Hanks just
I heard you outside
left.
the door making a vroom noise.
I did not
is
make
that the car in-
I did not make a vroom noise, Adam.
Yeah.
That's
What would it sound like
childish.
if you did?
Vroom.
That's what it sounded
yeah,
like.
No.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe it. We were so close. I've been so excited to have Tom Hanks. I told you not to truckle to Tom Hanks. He's fickle.
That's right, Mrs.
Here I am without my ruby sateen dress. It was a damnable calumny. That's what it was.
It was a calumny. What exactly are you wearing tonight, Mrs. Culpepper?
Nothing.
Well, that's very gentry of you. I'm sure the captain will appreciate that when you get home.
The captain will roll over in his grave.
In his what?
He's not alive, Adam.
Oh, dear
this
me.
is a disgrace to the captain's memory.
So now you find yourself widowed and naked.
I'm widowed and naked and ashamed.
I'm so sorry.
I'm deeply ashamed.
It's a bad night for Mrs. Culpepper. So I will not make your night worse by asking about the conditions.
Tom Hanks, nicest man in show business. Well, what makes people think that? He has stripped from me my ruby sateen dress.
Oh dear.
And the honor of Captain Culpepper, whose memory is dear to all of us.
Well, most of us. I don't really know much about the captain, to be honest with you. I was
He
surprised
a
to hear.
wonderful man. He was an honorable man.
Okay, and
he was a cheese-eating man.
A cheese-eating man. Oh, that's right. I think I remember reading in the local paper when I was a little boy that he passed away due to. I don't want to bring up bad
Tyrotoxism.
memories, but
He passed from
Tyrotoxism.
which is poisoning from a cheese or dairy product.
And which dairy product was it?
It was the Gouda the Goddam, Adam
Oh,
Felber.
I'm sorry to hear it, Mrs. Culpepper. Very, very sorry to hear it. Well, why don't
is
you throw
awful.
on a Peplos or something? And
This is awful.
Yeah.
I would enjoy wearing a peplos if Tony would go naked.
don't think that's going to happen,
think
Mrs.
that's
Culpepper.
a lot to ask of a producer.
Yeah, it's hard to ask it of a hand puppet, let alone a producer.
A what?
hand-
Adam, I want you to know something. I got my flu shot today. I went
Did
to the
you?
Rite Aid. I didn't want to do it because I hate shots. And
Okay.
you know what I realized in the process is that I actually get angry. That's what happened. Because I'm a little bit scared. And so I took my scooter over, but I left my helmet and sunglasses on while I got the shot in case I passed out because
Because the helmet makes sense. I don't get the sunglasses.
I don't want anybody knowing who passed out, Adam,
Oh,
from a
yeah.
flu shot. It's just embarrassing.
Sure, that's exactly what would happen.
But
if
I
you
was
passed
a
out.
little bit. I was.
I'm glad you
know
did
what?
it.
I did do. It was a good thing to do. But I was. I found myself being very uncharacteristically angry with the people who just were, I said, I need a flu shot. And the woman at the counter at the Rite Aid pharmacy said, okay. And I became like Elise Stefanik, the representative from New York.
From the Albany area or something like that. Yeah,
doing some of the questioning in the
impeachment trial.
Inquiry. I said, I need a flu shot. And the woman said, okay, in just a minute. And I said, right, it's not spelled correctly because it's RITE. And
wow. And she said, ma'am, this is a CVS.
Yeah, no, it was, which is also spelled wrong.
No, it's not. It's spelled.
I said to her, there was a study, because, where the pharmacy is, they're all built the same. Where the pharmacy is, there's also the rows and rows of the supplements and, herbs.
Okay.
That you can buy in the medical
section.
The
stuff that doesn't do anything.
Well, precisely, and that's exactly what I said to her.
And you pointed that out, too.
She said,
I would have given
I'll
you,
be with you
I would
in
have
a
gotten
minute.
the wide-bore needle at that point for you.
No, what I said to her? I said, there was a study that there's not even rose hips in the rose hips.
Wow.
And,
I don't even know what a rose hip is.
I don't either. That's what I said to her.
Because roses don't appear to have hips.
That's exactly what I said to her. And then she played like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and a rose did like a little thing across the counter.
Wow, we just wandered off into a strange area there. So you got the flu shot?
I did get the flu shot, but I found myself being angry. And so you know what I did, Adam?
What'd you do, Paula?
I went to the Gap.
Is that a place in your mind where you feel good, or did you go to the... Or did you go to the store?
No, that's my happy place.
The Gap?
No, I went to the Gap. I went to the Gap to buy some jeans. And you know what's weird? They don't have regular jeans at the Gap anymore.
What do you mean? They have jeans?
They used to have a wall of just regular old jeans. I like the kind that are crispy. I like the kind that are
crispy
stiff
jeans?
as a board.
Oh, yeah, no. They don't sell those anymore.
They don't have those anymore. They have like the stretchy,
They're pre-distressed stretchies.
Yeah, exactly. They already have holes in them. I'm like, well, that's why I was buying new ones, because these ones...
Well, I'm sure you found some without holes.
I took off a pair that's apparently worth hundreds to buy one. And then so I got a guy to help me because I couldn't, because they're in different places. I said, well, I just want regular jeans like these here.
This is a delightfly unfocused story.
No, it is focused. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I was so angry that I bought tight jeans.
No.
Yeah.
And who are you lashing out at with that, Paula?
My children. I bought tight jeans purposely to upset my children. So I said to this guy, he gave me a pair, and I said, well, I'll go try them on. And then he said, well, why don't you take these, I think they were like 32s or something. He said, why don't you take these 27s as well? And I said, okay. And
27s?
So I took them in he said they don't have 28s anymore. I don't know why. So I took them in to try them on, and, the 27s fit over one thigh. So then I go to the counter to pay, and the guy was there, and he goes, which ones worked? Like right in front of everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, the bigger ones, asshole.
Wow, you were just... I
angry said
today.
I couldn't get the other ones over my rose hips.
So you're not wearing... Those aren't them. You're not wearing
these are my old regular jeans. These jeans are worth $1,000 right now.
Are they now?
Yeah, because they have handcrafted... they have... I like jeans that you wear them and they get holes because you wore them.
Yeah.
I don't want the manufacturer putting holes in them.
Well, a lot of us are too lazy
sense.
to really get holes in our jeans anymore.
But why do you want holes in your jeans?
Oh,
That's
so it
the
looks like
other
we're
thing.
active.
Right.
Yeah.
So it looks like
I
you're
want the
active.
look of the outdoorsy active lifestyle, but I don't want to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like to wear a bib with a lot of food all over it.
Yeah. I wear lobster bibs just to make people think I had lobster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I'm eating
It's a
lobster
good
24/7,
idea.
yeah.
I put a lot of those bands that you get into nightclubs with on my arms, and I haven't
those are
been to a
good.
nightclub in years.
It just creates a nice impression.
Yeah, people
like
are
you're
like,
important.
Oh my God. People go, see that chick in the tight jeans with the rose hips? She
and
goes
the bracelets.
to clubs.
Yeah.
She goes
and
to
the crown.
nightclubs.
Because she's also a princess.
Am I?
I don't know.
I have a word, Adam. The word, Adam, is piquant. It's
Piquant. I know that word.
Adjective that means, it's got a couple of meanings, actually. The first meaning is pleasantly savory, pungent.
Yes.
The second meaning is engagingly provocative. Or also having a lively charm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're nodding your head like you were very familiar with piquant to begin with.
Yes, it's frequently used with the word observation, like someone makes a piquant observation, which is on point and pleasant, and
It's what?
Yeah, like a peakant.
That doesn't use one of those definitions. What the hell is a piquant observation?
Where are your definitions here? Let me take a look. Well, yes, a charming, engaging, and provocative observation would be a piquant observation.
Who makes a charming observation?
I do all the time.
Give me an example.
Let's see. What was my last charming observation?
Yeah, I rest my case.
I observed that the Roger Federer's so-called store across the street is in fact Feder, an appliance store.
That's not charming.
I guess not.
No.
I just wanted to bring it up again.
It's Roger Federer's.
No, it's not.
He is. Sometimes, if you listen really carefully, you can hear a tennis ball bouncing against the wall.
Because he's practicing?
Yeah, when things are a little slow over in the appliance store.
There are a lot of sounds out on Miranda Street. A tennis ball being hit by a professional against a wall is not one of them.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
That's somebody's head.
No, it's another non-piquant observation that you've known.
Well, we're going to add piquant to the list of words that you're going to forget.
I'm hoping. That's the thing. I do keep forgetting the words. You know, my short-term memory loss is enough to make me barely teachable at this point. I find it impossible to keep these words in my head, so I'm trying to use the magic of music to make them mine. Okay. Each week I add
magic
a word.
Magic of music to make them mine. That's good.
Yeah, thank you. That's a piquant observation. Each week I add a word to our vocabulary song, and of course, we are begging listeners to compose a more effective song than I've been able to conjure.
Which is, in point of fact, terrible.
Thank you.
Okay.
Another piquant observation I get.
That's a little bit mean, but it's true.
Cat Stevens, if you're listening, this seems right up your alley.
Anybody, brothers and sisters, bail us out.
All right, here's my best.
Oh, boy.
This is the.
Do you want some accompaniment from Alexei Chebelev?
If he can.
Alexei, just listen to what she's singing and see if you can play along. That's going to be probably the greatest challenge of your musical career to date. All right. All right.
Thank you, Lexi. All right, ready? I've really forgotten the tune entirely. This week's word is piquant. It's an adjective that means pleasantly savory, pungent. It can also mean engagingly provocative, also having a lively charm. Last week's word was opprobrium. It's a noun meaning disgrace or reproach brought from conduct considered shameful. Looking back, we also had clack. It's a noun that means individual, organized, group hired to applaud a performance, as in a theater. The week before that, the word was horologe. It's a noun that means timepiece as a clock, watch or hourglass. The week before, the word was probity, a noun meaning moral excellence, integrity. Another week back, we had nugatory. It's an adjective that means inconsequential, worthless, having no force. Go with me, Alexi. Having no force, inoperative. Adam didn't think it was the right word to describe the incorrectly prescribed antibiotic for my bladder infection, but I did.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Now,
what do you think, Alexi? Maybe you... Are we gonna just sticks with you, doesn't it?
I have a couple of little observations.
Yeah.
The way that you're constructing this song is you're just adding another word onto the front end.
You just figured
every
that
week.
out?
Well, I just want to say that, like, what I think is great about this week's is that it's shorter than next week's. So, first observation, and if you keep something in mind. Last week I accused you of cadging a little bit of the melody from Lullaby of Broadway.
But I couldn't have because I've never seen it or heard it.
Okay. It's a song. Come on along. I'll take you to listen to the Lullaby of Broadway. That's what you're stealing. Now I don't think that anymore.
I'm not stealing anything.
Now I think what you're stealing is the human rights violation known as the 1877 Cars for Kids ad. I think that's what you got there. But Alexi, thank you for trying.
That was brilliant, Alexi. Thank you.
All right, now, listeners, if you'd like to send us your original vocabulary song, we're at nobodylistens-to-Paula@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cat Stevens, that's where we are.
Yes, please save us. Coming up, an old Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Jim Hardie, Director of Park Operations for Tree People, will talk to us about planting trees right now when we return on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. Nice, and we're back, Paula. Speaking of fly me to the moon, trees.
Trees.
I'm trying to master a segue. I'm not succeeding.
No,
Paula,
that was
the
good.
New York Times published this news item from Washington State. It turns out that prisoners in solitary confinement were given a document with tips on how to relieve stress, and one of those tips was plant a tree.
I'm not surprised.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it would ease the burden of solitary confinement, but it's a nice idea, planting a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel a little connection to the thing when you plant it.
You
too.
planted many a tree.
Well, a couple. I wouldn't say many, but a couple.
Okay. Well, you have planted trees with the help of Tree People, right? The organization.
Yes.
You love that organization, don't
What's
you?
not to love? It's a beautiful, they have a beautiful park.
Yes, up there in the hills.
Up in the hills, and then also they do education and advocacy for both trees and conservation. And we are so lucky now.
Yes, they're an organization that inspires and supports people of LA to come together and plant and care for trees, harvest the rain, and renew depleted landscapes. We're thrilled to have someone here who can answer all our questions about trees, and we have so many. He is the director of park operations for those Tree People. Please welcome Jim Hardie.
Thank you.
Jim, welcome.
Great to be here.
So you're up there in the hills planting trees?
Yes.
Okay.
And taking care of them up there in the hills, in the park.
In the park.
We plant trees all over the city with people in their communities. We go out and make communities greener, schoolyards, churchyards, streets. We're transforming Los Angeles.
That's wonderful.
Why are trees important?
Oxygen, shade, beauty, health. Trees actually calm your heart level. They've done studies showing that people in hospitals looking out a room window at trees actually heal faster than people with the same ailments in a room that looks out on asphalt and concrete.
Wow.
True stuff. Not
What about the middle
mumbo-jumbo.
ground, like other plants, like grass?
That's good too. Well,
Shrubs.
It's good to look at.
Yeah.
Because it's green. We evolved in that kind of environment. We humans, a million years ago in Africa, we were surrounded by greenery. But when you talk about grass in L.A., you bring my mind to the fact that we want people in L.A. to create sustainable landscapes.
And
you know where I'm going with this.
Right.
Grass
Grass
is
is
a water
not one of them.
gobbler.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Yeah.
So
Our garden should have succulents and things in them, right?
Well, succulents are one way to go, but there's plenty of wonderful native plants and plants from other similar climates. That this is a Mediterranean climate, that we're in a dry climate, but around the world there are other plants that aren't succulents. You can have leafy, beautiful, colorful plants if you select right. You don't have to go with succulents and cactus, but plant the right thing in the right place, and it will survive in this climate, and you don't need all that water.
Now, Jim Hardie happens to be a good friend of mine, and I've known Jim
This Jim Hardie?
This Jim Hardie that
Oh,
we have
wow.
here. I turned to Adam to say that Jim is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I've known Jim for years, and Jim, you're an energetic guy.
Yeah.
And the idea that trees are calming makes me shudder. At the idea, like, what if you worked in the concrete industry? You'd be like a basket case.
You're absolutely right, and
Yeah.
that's why I love going to the park, because
It's all that's keeping the lid on you.
Oh, my God.
But they also make you feel good, and they give you energy in that sense, right, to turn that inside out. I mean, they make you feel good. People come to the park, and all the time they say how they love it there because it's tranquil. They get away from the city. It's quiet. I told you this story over the summer. A woman in the park, one of the regulars, talked to me on the trails with tears in her eyes, saying she comes to the park, and it helped her get through her divorce.
Wow.
Wow.
Because of the feelings, the calm, the nice, the escape from the tension below.
That's a
That's
great
really
thing.
nice.
You know, maybe if she had come before the divorce, she could have.
Kept the marriage together.
Yeah. Maybe with the partner. That's, it's a matter of order of operations.
Absolutely.
It's so important here.
It
I
really
hope
is.
that was your quick rejoinder to her.
I hope it wasn't.
That was your comforting rejoinder. Why didn't you come before? You'd still be with the asshole. Now, let me ask you, do you have to plant trees? Don't they just grow?
Well, they do.
I mean, how did forests get there?
Mother Nature.
Yes, exactly.
And they do, but if you're planting trees in an urban environment, especially a dry urban environment like
Right.
ours, they need help. They need human help to get started and care in those early years to get established. Just like young kids need help. Trees, especially in a dry city
Supposed
like
to
this.
help young kids?
Well,
Oh, I feel awful.
No, you just halfway bury them and pour water on them.
Oh, I feel horrible.
and so they do need planting, but you're from Massachusetts, right?
Yeah. We had woods. Behind our house, we had woods.
My wife and I love going to Vermont, right? Same thing.
We
Woods.
never
You
once
drive through
watered
miles
a
of-
tree my whole life.
Well, and you don't. In an environment like that, you probably don't need to water. Maybe you water when you plant it, but
it's a biome where the trees that are there naturally are adapted for the exact kind of climate that they're in.
Very good. But think about this. Picture those beautiful forests of Massachusetts and Vermont. Go back 100 years ago, and most of those, seriously, were clear-cut, right, to supply lumber in the 1800s for Boston, New York, as those cities grew. Mostly clear-cut. But now you're driving through forests. That's Mother Nature at work. That's very inspiring to me in terms of if we just let nature do its thing in some places.
In a generation or two.
It renews itself.
That's good.
Yeah, they do. Did Johnny Appleseed just drop seeds as he walked, or did he do more for them than that?
He followed Paul Bunyan along, and
There was no Johnny Appleseed.
There wasn't?
No.
There wasn't really a Johnny Appleseed?
No, that guy over at Federer's lied to you.
Oh, I feel awful.
There was a Johnny Appleseed. It's based on truth. But from grade school, most of us have this kind of image. Yes, he just dropped seeds and went on his way. But more intelligently, he...
One second. Captain Crinkle, honestly, Bonnie Burns...
I'm not sure the listeners can hear.
I know the listeners can't.
She's drinking from a plastic water bottle.
And squeezing it.
To impress our conservationist friend, she's drinking from a plastic water bottle, and she's playing it like an accordion.
Yeah.
You interrupted him.
I would see it another way.
Now she's complaining that I interrupted him.
Sorry, Jim. This is the kind of stuff we have to put up with
Put
here.
it down, Bonnie. Okay.
The great thing about Johnny Appleseed was that he actually created nurseries. Seriously, he more successfully than just throwing seeds in the ground, he created nurseries, grew saplings and seedlings for other people to plant. Right?
Oh, that's
He
good.
would create a nursery.
That's not in the book, Jim.
Well, it's there. I think it's on Wikipedia.
I have a Johnny Appleseed book that I used to read to my kids, and he just wore a pot on his head and dropped seeds.
Well,
that's not him.
He was a character, and he was also spreading a particular religion of the time. I can't remember the name of it, but
Jesus.
it was
It's
a
an ugly
unique,
story when it gets down
strange
to it.
religion.
Oh, was it
that
one of
time.
those like 19th century cult things?
Yes, because it was early 1820s or 1810s.
Oh, that was a very
He was Jim Jones with a green thumb. I don't like it.
And one of the stories about him is that because he camped out just without any bedding or anything at night, would build a campfire. When he saw that mosquitoes were dying in the flames, he put out the fire because he didn't want that precious life of the mosquitoes harmed.
Oh, okay, that guy was messed
Wow.
up.
Yeah, so-
Died of malaria, he did.
And then he died happily of malaria at the age of 32. Hey, can you save my palm tree?
No.
Okay.
What's the problem? with
Okay,
it?
well, a friend of mine called and let me know that he had two palm tree, I guess they're called saplings that had dropped off his big palm tree. And then we brought them over to my house. I planted two of them on the front lawn like 18 months ago. One died almost immediately, and the other one, it's shorter than it used to be, although it is pushing out.
Wait a minute.
It is pushing out some hopeful
It's
fronds
shorter
right
than
now.
it used to be?
It's growing
They
down?
don't usually
It's growing
grow
down.
up. I mean, I'm not an expert like Jim, but that doesn't sound right.
doesn't
It was a
right.
taller stalk, and then the stalk kind of broke. But now it's sending up another shoot, and I want it to live this time.
Were you watering it?
Yes.
Well, here's I'll tell you something. I know very little about palm trees. We were, first of all, palm trees are not trees. They're really a grass relative. They're a relative of grass. And
didn't know that.
a whole
Wow.
separate family. Have you ever cut a palm tree across the trunk?
What kind of monster do you think I am?
You won't see the rings of a tree. You'll see these. It looks like spaghetti threads coming
Yes.
through. It's
Okay.
grass.
Yeah.
It's grass.
It does grow really weirdly because these green shoots come up through the middle and then
Yeah.
they kind of unfurl into these fronds. It's kind of cool.
So
But
they're
yeah.
not native to here either, are they?
There are palms that are native to like the desert region, palm desert out there and in Mexico, but not to the LA area. They're all imported.
like what countries or like
the Middle East, you find
they
them
belong in
in
Hawaii, the
Africa,
palm
and there's
trees?
some in the Pacific. There's like 1,000 different
a lot of
species
variety.
palm.
In the Pacific, it's not unusual for someone to say, honey, can you go mow the palm tree? Is that correct?
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Oh, damn it.
You wouldn't be able to mow it just because it's related to grass.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And the point I was going to make, and this is no offense, Adam, because I love the fact that you're planting things, but palms don't really do a lot of what we love trees to do in terms of providing a canopy that will shade an area, cool it down, shade your home, lessen your need for air conditioning.
Oh, we're barely using our front lawn.
Well, there you go. But a cluster of palm trees in times will do that. Will provide some shade and so on.
So now I got to plant a cluster. See, this is how they get you, Paula.
Yeah.
This is how these tree salesmen get you.
Clusters of palms are good.
Okay.
Clusters of palms. But again, we also tree people, bringing it back to the work we do, we work with volunteers when we're planting. We go to people in their community. And palm trees are usually so friggin' heavy and big. It's not practical to work with volunteers. We like to work with smaller trees initially.
I hear you.
Now, Jim planted 2 Chinese elms at my house. One he planted in the backyard, and one in the front yard. And I named the trees. I named the backyard one Jim and the front yard one Eileen for Jim's wife. Eileen.
So nice.
My dog Mo, the pod puppy, who's laying at our feet right now, has ravaged Jim the tree. She will not leave it alone. She has stripped the bark from it multiple times, and we keep putting.
Is she a deer?
We've multiple times put fencing and this and that. She digs down to the root ball. She tunnels through even if you put a fence around it. And then when Jim came here tonight, she kept growling and barking at him. So there's some relationship
between that tree and Jim.
She doesn't like the name Jim. I don't know. She wouldn't have fallen for the Kool-Aid thing.
Wow.
The tree is still alive even though she took a lot of bark. And I know you've seen it since she...
And I was saying, well, let's wait until spring to see what it does. Right now it's holding on. There's still enough of the cambium, the living layer under the bark. If you've ever scratched a branch. As a kid, you scratch a young branch, you see green, bright green underneath. That's where the life of the tree is. There's tubes and cells sending water from the roots up to the leaves and sending sugar back down to help the tree grow. What's the chemical formula of water?
H2O?
What's the chemical formula of CO2, which trees breathe in?
I know that one. It's
the chemical formula of carbon dioxide is CO2. Okay, so the water is pumped up to the leaves, H2O. CO2 is breathed in by the tree. It mixes together through photosynthesis.
And creates a sugar.
Creates a sugar because it pushes out the O2, the oxygen, to us humans, right? And it leaves the sugars, carbohydrates, C's and H's, and they go and make the tree grow. So with your tree in your backyard, there's still enough of that living layer under the bark to keep it alive for now. And potentially, if the tree is kept well watered and cared for, it can scar over those areas in time.
I'm
Just in
hoping
time
so.
for a motor
So
attack it again.
the tree has sugar in it?
Yes, well, it's a form of sugar, yes.
If Bonnie, who wants to try again with the Butterfinger recipe.
Captain Crinkle, yeah.
If she were to take the parts of Jim the tree that Mo brings her, would she be able to make a Butterfinger with it?
She probably could try.
No, she couldn't. I'll say two
she'll
things about that. One, if she used stripped tree bark, it would taste better than what she did last time. But two, it's the outer bark. That doesn't have any sugars in it, right?
Not the outer bark, but the layer right under that, the cambium.
That's the one Mo was after.
There's the xylem and the phloem on the sides of the cambium.
I remember that from high school science.
But think
it was my fault for training the dog that way. I said, go get the cambium. Go get the cambium.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That was you.
Go back to Vermont. What do they harvest out of maple trees?
Oh, right. Sure.
Oh, yeah, I know this one. I know this one. Corn syrup.
So close.
And any kind of fruit, right? Sugar, that beautiful sugar in an orange or apple, whatever, is produced by the tree through that process of H2O, CO2, O2, and all of that.
Did you see my orange tree when you were at the house?
I saw it.
Is it root bound in that pot, do you think?
Root bound.
Oh, that's a great question.
That's a great word.
I didn't look that close, but it's important to free it from that pot if it is root bound. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. How long can it stay in the pot?
I don't know. How long has it been in the pot?
A few years.
Oh goodness!
Years.
It's time to set it free.
Yeah, it's sort of the cami of the.
But do you want to keep it? I mean, let's find a place to plant it in the yard. Set
that's
it
a
free.
good idea.
Yeah. Is it bearing fruit?
Mo would love that.
Yes.
Yeah, it does bear fruit. Yeah.
Well, we can build a bigger cage around that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We should just put a cage around Mo.
That's kind of the
a cage
solution
with
here.
wheels on it.
I'd say Pod Pup was chewing my shoe earlier in this very podcast.
She's only 9 months, so she is
but she's
still
like the
in a
size of a
very.
house. months at this point.
She's a big 9 months. But yeah, she likes to chew. All right. Now, is there a technique, Jim, for planting trees?
Yes. And
Could you share it with us?
I will.
No, that'll cost you.
Do you hear how energetic he is?
He's super
But
energetic.
He's calm from the trees.
We need to bring like a shrub in here quick.
Yeah, if he worked with plastics, we'd be fucked.
I'd say two things everyone should know about planting a tree. First of all, when you take it out of its pot, you want to free those roots. Seriously, we say massage the roots, because if the roots are root bound, if the tree is root bound and the roots are circling, it'll stay in that pattern the rest of its life. Okay.
Really?
So
Which is what you want for a palm, but again, a palm isn't a tree.
Well, yes, there are
Why would you bring that up?
Because I had to plant it.
palm
And it
roots.
was like,
Palm
this
roots
is
are different.
ball, yeah.
But yes, anything, even a house plant, you'd want to free the roots. If you
Okay.
could get a house plant in
didn't
a
know that.
1-gallon container, and its roots will be circling the bottom.
Right.
You want to gently break those free so that they'll start to spread. Sometimes after a big storm in Los Angeles, you'll see a 50-year-old tree that's fallen over,
Yeah.
right? Uprooted, and its roots are in a circle because it was never broken out of that pattern when it was planted. So-
Well, can you? Okay, because Bill Irwin, who was a guest on our show once,
my
the
goodness,
fabulous
yes.
actor Bill.
This
Bill
one's true.
Irwin, he gave me a shrub at Christmas a couple years ago. It was like, I think he'd gotten it at like a grocery store, plant thing or something. It
fell
came in
off
a
a
little
truck.
teeny pot, and it was tied up with red ribbon. But it was like a evergreen of some sort, or I think it's a shrub. But I don't know the difference. But anyways, we kept it, and then we replanted it, but we never unbound its roots.
Well,
Can you go back in and unbind the roots because it's thriving?
You could repot it. You could uppot it or replant it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Has
worried.
it been you put it in the ground or in another pot?
It's just in another pot.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can repot it and just gently, with no deeper than your first knuckle, break those roots free. You can even cut them off.
Should I bring it to like a masseuse?
Well, I don't know of ones who do that, but
Are there tree sources?
there probably are, for God's sakes. But I don't know.
you're a tree people.
Yeah. Well, we don't go that far. The second thing is when you plant the tree, the number one killer of trees planted by humans is they're planted too deep. Okay, if you look at your hand, if this is the roots and this is the
So he's
trunk,
We're kind of an,
He's showing
we're kind of
his
an
fingers.
audio
right.
broadcast.
Yeah, do we-
here.
He's showing his
we have-
fingers.
well, I'm showing
no,
you, but-
and now the trunk starts at
We'll take
your
a picture
wrist.
for our
Is that
listeners.
right?
there's no cameras.
No.
No, we can physically do anything we want.
But think, for folks listening, think of your wrist as what's called the root crown. In other words, these are the roots.
So the fingers are the roots.
Fingers are the roots.
The tree starts to flare from the trunk as it
This tree starts to flare from the root,
From the trunk.
from the wrist, which would so the back of your hand would be the
the root flare or the root crown. If you
Okay.
put that too deep in the soil when you
Okay.
plant, it creates a rot. That soil around, yes, you hate that.
Yeah.
The soil around covering the crown will set in a rot, and the tree may live for some years, but in time it'll kill the tree. So plant the
no.
tree a little bit above grade when you put it in the ground after you've massaged those roots.
when you put
All right.
when you guys planted the trees in our yard, did you massage the roots? Because maybe that's why Mo keeps trying to dig it up. She's like, these haven't been massaged.
We massaged them. I thought we did pretty well, but God knows, Mo may know different.
Yeah, she's a sensitive dog. You threatened me with the possibility of us overwatering,
Yes.
which I live in fear of.
Oh, don't live in fear.
I do.
of it. Well,
I do.
but it tests the soil. And if you
Yeah.
put your finger, again, we're talking about knuckles, and nobody's going to see this. But
Yeah. All right. So you put your finger in up to
Another
which
visual aid
knuckle?
here.
up to the second knuckle, and if it's moist like coffee grounds after you've brewed coffee, that's fine. But you don't want it murky or muddy because you can overwater.
Yeah.
And there's a tendency of people to worry about it, and they keep thinking, today's 90 degrees, I'll give us more water.
Yeah.
But you can actually harm the tree in time. Essentially, you're drowning the roots because they also need oxygen. Air pressure pushes oxygen down into the top 12, 18 inches of soil.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So roots need a certain amount of oxygen.
That's why
So-
if you have a victim, bury him deep.
Yes.
Because
You don't want him breathing.
oh, No, I don't think it works that way.
No. Now you gave us those big green Tree People buckets.
Yes.
Am I right? And I'm going to feel like an idiot if I'm not. That you told us to pour 2 of those on each time we.
Yeah.
Because
But-
I find that and I pour them really slowly, but still there's like a little puddle sometimes near the around the
This
trunk.
is turning
Is
super
that bad?
specific to your yard. In
There's a
terms
reason
of
for this.
spreading knowledge to our
No,
listeners
but
and
other
stuff.
people need to know. If there's a puddle around the trunk, is that bad?
Yes, that's a great question because
Thank you.
if it's
Okay.
taking
Withdrawn.
a
My
long
objection's
time
withdrawn.
for the water to percolate down, then yes, back off on the water.
Okay.
Wait a week, wait
Okay.
10 days,
All
and,
right.
and
Should she
right?
take the
what I'm gonna
saran
do.
wrap off the tree?
Yes.
I don't have saran wrap on the tree.
Yes, you do.
What are pine cones for? Is
Well-
that nature's way of giving us table decorations?
Pine cones hold the seeds of the pine trees, or any conifer has cones, right? There's all
what?
sorts of any conifer. That's the
Evergreen.
Conifer?
The family of evergreens with needles. Pines, spruces, redwoods,
I didn't know
cedars
that.
are all
Conifers. I had no idea.
They all have cones of some kind.
As opposed to deciduous trees and stuff.
Yes.
I was-
And
I
can
thought
I
you
use
said-
my hand again?
Yeah.
When the
No.
cone, when the cone,
He was doing another
we're an
visual
audio podcast.
demonstration. Tell me, Jim.
very-
I'll get it.
very-
when the cone is tight for you
Okay,
all.
when the cone is tight and he's making a
the
fist.
seeds are growing inside, and then
The seeds are growing
then
inside,
the cone
and then
opens.
as
Now
it
you're just
opens
repeating
up-
his words.
Sorry, you're
not
right.
helpful.
I did. Okay, so he opened it. So he had a tight fist to show the cone when the cone is tight.
But then when
right, and then when it opens up and he loosened his
the
hand.
cone open, the seeds
Yeah,
fall out, and
the
some of them
seeds
are
fall
tiny.
out.
Giant redwood tree, 200 feet tall, 1,500 years old, grows from a seed that looks like a piece of pepper.
Wow.
Seriously. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I just
Ca-
got past a whiteboard from Captain Crinkle, and on it she speaks of herself in the third person,
Really,
and it
Trump?
says, and what I love about it is I'm going to pretend that that's not an abbreviation because what she's written here, and let's get a picture of this, is Captain Crinkle has a quest. Now, Captain Crinkle,
Yes,
I
she
would
does,
say
to make
get
a lot
up,
of
walk
noise.
out that door, and bon voyage on that quest, Captain Crinkle. It's a question.
Yeah.
All right,
She has
Captain Crinkle's a good question.
Why didn't you write the question on the board?
And what was in what world is quest an abbreviation for question?
No,
really
okay,
wrote-
there are some.
Okay,
And look, okay, go ahead. What's your question? No, why would you?
Go to me, and I didn't want to interrupt you.
Well, now you've interrupted us, and we can't hear you. Our listeners can't hear you. So ask your
wait,
question.
she
and we'll,
says she didn't want to interrupt us, but you're not on the microphone, Bunny. You want the mic?
oh, this is such a
gotta-
bad idea. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Crinkle.
Okay, this is my question.
Yes.
How stupid do you have to be to try and grow a tree from a lemon seed?
So
taking the microphone back
question
from
was,
Captain Crinkle.
how stupid do you have to be to try to grow a lemon tree from a lemon seed?
Well, fruit trees are fruit trees are another thing in that a lot of them bear fruit, and the seed is what's the word when a guy can't do it?
It's impotent.
Impotent. But
Wait, is it impotent or is it
this is the word.
Peronis.
is it infertile?
Infertile. Thank
Right.
you. There we go.
Right.
Is
Lemons trees can get it up.
But is it crooked sometimes? That's
Yeah, they
Peronis,
bend to the
you know.
left more
yeah,
frequently than to the right,
exactly.
I hear.
No, that's a carrot. What? Ah,
But
jeez.
in other words, some fruit trees are grown as hybrids, like so you're not going to get a true lemon necessarily from it. So
What do you mean you're not going to get a true lemon?
well,
Get a lion lemon?
Yeah, lemon it cheats on you.
Yeah.
you also
Do I smell lime on your rind? No. No. I've
Get a
just been in your
lion
yard
lemon.
the whole time.
That's a place in the administration for that.
Lion lemon. It sounds like
Yeah,
the
lion-
worst blues singer ever.
Lion lemon.
which isn't to say you shouldn't try it, but there are also sometimes with some fruit trees seeds, you have to prepare the seed beforehand.
You have to prepare the seed
Well,
like this, like you put it in the palm of your hand. You go, look, I'm going to put you in the ground now. I don't want this to come
gonna
as
be
a
shocking.
surprise to you. It's going to be dark, but there'll still be oxygen.
Some need to be dried out for a period before you plant them, that kind of thing. That's what I'm getting at. So beyond that, I don't know.
How stupid do you have to be?
Yeah, it was a
with your
question about intelligence, really.
Right, it was.
It had almost nothing
That's
to
why
do
it
with
made no
lemon
sense.
trees.
Wait, now she's coming back to the microphone. This is a danger. It's like letting a vampire in. If you let her start talking, look, she's leaning over. It's the
Go ahead, go ahead.
fucking worst thing.
Here's why I ask, because when your kids are
Get
in
close to the microphone.
when your kids are in elementary school, they have them, get a seed and then you get the root on it and you
Right.
plant it, which I did with my daughter. And people I know, the same girlfriends with the candy, were like
Now we're-
laughing, saying it would take 7 years for it to grow.
Her kid went to a really fucked up school. The kids never had fruit because they just waited.
Yeah.
A lot of them got like rickets and
Planted the lemon tree.
yeah, they
Enjoy
just
your
waited
rickets.
and waited. Yeah, it was
What's
awful.
for dinner? Rickets. Now, I don't know why Captain Crinkle felt the need to come to the microphone to elaborate, except to let us know that
Yeah.
that her
She's still
candy
trying to
making
get her money back from that private school. When Bonnie's kid went to college, Bonnie photoshopped her head onto a lemon to get her in.
Worst cheating ever.
Yeah, Bonnie's going to the big house for it.
All right.
Oh my God, this has been so informative.
It really has.
Jim.
And thank you, Jim Hardie, for watering the roots of our knowledge about trees. Now, Paula, based on that, what advice can you give our listeners about planting trees?
Alexi, can I have some sappy music to underscore this summary? Nice. We need trees for shade and to keep the divorce rate down. Have you ever heard of a dysfunctional family that lives in a tree? Of course not. You know the expression, if your limb neighbors are squirrels, you'll have nice girls.
Not a.
Trees are important, but you can fuck them up if you have a pod puppy or if you plant them too deep or if you overwater. Actually, they cause stress. You know what this is?
What is happening?
It's the sound of a root ball being massaged before you plant it. So the roots spread.
All right. Jim Hardie is Director of Park Operations for Tree People. You can get more information about Tree People, its mission, and its upcoming events at treepeople.org. Jim, thank you for being
Thank you,
here.
Jim Hardie.
Next up, we've jumped 130 spots on the comedy podcast chart in Poland. Our salute to Poland coming up right after this. The cat of the week is Benjacat Franklin from Belchertown, Massachusetts. So, Paula, breaking news. We are hot, not in Cleveland, in Poland.
Wow.
We might be hot in Cleveland, too, but it's kind of big news because we've jumped 130 spots to rise up to number 119 on their comedy podcast charts.
So we had Tony Anita Hull look into this.
Yes, and it turns out that comes to 225 downloads, which is a lot for people who speak Polish over the course of 3 months.
Yeah, it's a lot for us.
Yeah.
We thought we were killing in Moldova, and it turned out we had like 3 listeners.
Right.
Yeah.
So Paula's no Moldova.
No,
Poland's
no, we're really
We're really
Tony-
taking them. So let's bring Tony Anita Hull up to the microphone like we customarily do when we get hot in some other country for our salute to Poland. Tony Anita Hull, everybody.
Tony Anita Hull. Now, Tony is wearing her Greek peplos tonight because Tom Hanks, who isn't here, thank you, Anthony. Tom Hanks insisted that she wear her Greek peplos in order for him to show up. But normally she would be wearing the traditional, when representing our success in Poland, the traditional Polish woman's dress, a white blouse with embroidery, a black vest with adornments, a full skirt with a floral pattern, an apron, a headdress, and boots. And a red coral beaded
Surprised
necklace.
that you were prepared to say all that, Paul.
Yeah,
That's
it's something
off,
I
off the
happen
top
to
of
know.
your head.
Well, the other thing is that the way we're providing these costumes is with the help from Scott Franciscus,
Yeah.
our
Yes.
benefactor.
Yeah.
And we want to
He's
thank
not.
him again.
No,
Thank
he's
you.
not. He's just
Thank
a
you,
winner of a
Scott.
bar of hotel soap that Tony. You bring up Tony's worst moment, the moment she comes to my friend. By the way, we haven't let her speak yet.
Adam, answer the phone.
The phone?
Yeah, the phone.
I don't want to answer
Adam,
the phone.
answer the phone.
I really don't want to.
Answer the phone.
Hello?
Adam, it's me, Winnie Feynman.
Who?
Winnie Feynman. I can't believe I got through on the phone to you.
Winnie Feynman.
Have you been getting my cards?
I have not.
The big one with the heart, I made it for you special. Did you get it?
No.
Because I just love you so much.
Winnie, where are you
I
from?
think you're brilliant. I know you're on every show, but still I have an anxiety attack sometimes thinking that you're not going to be on a show. I
Oh.
just love you so much. Did you get the picture I painted of us?
No, I did not,
You
Winnie.
didn't? I'm gonna breathe weird. Every time you say something out of me, part of me just melts. I just want you to know I love you so much.
Winnie, this is uncomfortable. I'm going to ask you what I've asked some of our other callers.
I can't
Winnie?
believe you didn't get my card.
Winnie, how are you
It's just
calling
so-
a pre-taped podcast,
I
Winnie?
can't believe I got through to you. The phone lines were so busy. You're so important to me.
Winnie, you sound a bit on the neurotic side. I'm wondering how you got our phone number and how you called while we're recording.
I've just been calling and calling. Are you recording now?
Yes, we are, Winnie.
Oh, I've just been calling and calling. It's so important to me that you get the heart that I say to you because I love you so
Winnie,
much.
this is a little uncomfortable. It's a little uncomfortable.
Adam, I have to go now.
Okay.
I really love you. Thank you.
No,
I'm
it's
going
fine.
to send you something else in the mail.
No, please don't. Please don't.
I just want you to have this picture that I painted of the two of us together.
Oh, boy. You said something about having to go?
I have to go now, Adam.
Okay, that's good.
Jesus, I love you.
Okay. Bye, Winnie.
Bye, Adam.
Wow, what was that about?
Gee, boy, you really knock her socks
It's
off.
nice to have
I
a fan.
You know, I mean, I like you, but that is powerful.
Yeah, that was a little much.
Yeah.
That made me, as I said, that made me uncomfortable.
So, Tony, what can you tell us about Poland?
Yeah, let's learn all about Poland.
College in Poland is free. If you're a Polish citizen, you can attend a state-run university without paying tuition.
What is it, Bernie Sanders land?
I love that. That's fantastic.
Because Bernie Sanders has been talking about that,
About Poland?
No, not about Poland, about making college tuition free. He always says it. I think college tuition ought to be free.
He says that?
Yeah, he says that.
Yeah.
It should be free.
Yeah. Like in Poland. That's
Like in
the last
Poland.
thing he says. Like in Poland.
I favor the Polish model of secondary education. It should be free.
If I weren't looking right at you, I'd be like,
uncanny,
Bernie, is that
isn't
you? Well, okay, one thing I know is that as of 2011, they had a 99.7 literacy rate. So they read the Mueller report. Maybe it's because they go to college for free there.
What else can you tell us about this wonderful land before Paula takes all the factoids?
Buying an even number of flowers for funerals is considered a faux pas.
A faux pas. Didn't we have a vocabulary word that also meant
Yes.
faux pas?
A solecism.
There we go.
That is just-
Nicely done.
That is just
Reaches
plain
like a
weird.
year back into your pocket. Maybe we don't need that stupid
Last
song.
week's word
No.
was solecism. It
means
means
a
faux pas or social. I
Okay, so
forget.
it's a solecism.
So that is just the weirdest thing because, all right, say you have somebody die that's close to you and you're mourning, you're like crying, you're weeping. Somebody kindly gives you flowers and then you go, how many? How many did he give me?
A dozen.
Fuck you! That's just weird.
Yeah.
That is just plain weird.
It is a little weird. I insist at my parties that anybody brings me anything, it has to be a prime number of those things.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about I'm talking about somebody died.
Yeah.
Somebody died. And
Who died, Paula?
I don't know, somebody.
Name her.
Well, I have one example of a death.
Oh, yeah, look.
When Captain
Mrs.
Culpepper
Culpepper.
passed, it would have never occurred to me to count the flowers that were given during our period of mourning.
Were there many flowers sent, Mrs. Culpepper?
There were many. Oh, it was a garden of flowers. As you look out, Captain Culpepper was a beloved man.
What branch of the service did Captain Culpepper serve in?
The important branch of the service.
Okay, the important branch of the service.
He was Captain Culpepper was in the army. He was in
The army. He was an army captain.
He was an army captain. That's correct.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Did he ever fight in Poland?
That's absurd. No, he did not fight in Poland.
I don't know why that would be absurd, but anyway, Tony, what else you got for us on the hot sheet?
Poland is the 9th largest country in Europe, both in terms of population and territory.
Oh,
it's bigger than Italy and the UK.
Combined?
Separately.
Oh.
Well, that's good, though, in terms of population and territory, because, if you have a lot of people but a small territory, you get, people
Crowded.
You get people fucking with one another. You know what I mean? Like purposely giving an even number of flowers at people's funerals and stuff.
Because they're annoyed at the crowding
Just
conditions.
because they just don't get along.
Wow,
this is beautiful.
Now, I understand you brought a little bit of the Polish national anthem with us?
Yes, if we could have.
Wait, I have to ask a question. What industries come from Poland? Does anybody know? Because I looked up their industry. They don't even make poles. I thought that was weird.
Well, that's not weird. I mean,
They're missing some branding opportunities, don't you think?
That is
What
true.
with the popularity of pole dancing and all.
you have a point.
Yeah.
But are poles that profitable? It seems like you put in one pole and a lot of people dance on it.
Well, yeah, but poles are used for lots and lots of things.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, used for fencing and stuff. There's a lot of. We used to have a pole in our basement. I was forever whacking my head on it, even though I don't think that's what it was there for.
Okay. So no, I guess we don't know much about the industries. Do you want to enlighten us, Paula?
No, I don't know much about the industries.
What are the main industries in Poland, Tony and Idaho?
Don't know.
All right, then let's play that national anthem like I requested.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
The name of the national anthem is "Poland is Not Yet Lost."
Oh,
Which I think is kind of
Poland is
sad.
gonna
not
be
yet
lost?
lost. Yeah, it says that is some depressing
It's
Eastern
very
European shit right
gloomy,
there.
So,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
gonna bring that
the
up.
original name was "Where's Poland?"
Not yet lost. It's just so pessimistic.
Yeah, it was a little downer.
Let's hear it. Let's hear if it's cheery.
Marco, Poland.
Where's Poland? Where'd you have it last? Oh, it's right here on my forehead. Poland is not yet lost.
Just around the corner, hidden behind the bush. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful song.
Is this Poland? No, it's the Czech Republic, but Poland's right over that way.
Well, we've now lost all the listeners of Poland.
Look, somebody has to translate those lyrics.
Tony, we're going to put you in charge of our Poland account.
Yeah.
We'd like you to keep
I'm on it.
keep the Poland listeners.
Is there any other style of music that is popular in Poland?
Oh, mazurkas are popular.
Mazurka is a
What's
popular
a
Polish.
mazurka? What is a mazurka?
It's almost kind of sounds like a polka. If you like,
Are polkas Polish?
I don't know.
You didn't do a lot of studying this
I
time,
didn't.
Tony. Were you
Sorry,
busy this
guys.
week?
I was busy.
Hey, Alexi, do you know if polkas are Polish?
I know a German polka. I know Russian polka.
He knows a German
Doesn't
polka. He
sound
knows
like
a
it,
Russian
then.
polka.
Polka sounds like Poland.
It
Polka
does,
does
doesn't
sound
it?
like Poland.
I said the POL.
All right, well, let's hear a little bit of a mazurka because we brought it up. That's nice, and that's no polka.
nice.
That's in
Wow.
waltz time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what the name of that song was?
Thank you, Lexi.
Found Poland.
Oh,
was over
it's
here the
right
whole
here.
time.
Poland was just right here.
It was behind the couch. I found Poland. Whoosh. Whoosh.
Whoosh, who saw that coming?
Whoosh.
Oh, okay. Polkas are bohemian, by the way.
Polkas are Bohemian?
There we go.
Bohemian.
Yes, and there isn't even a Bohemia anymore. Or is Bohemia now in Poland?
Why are you asking all these questions?
Because you're our expert coming on the show.
I can't have a nervous breakdown.
Jesus.
All right.
You know, travel Tony doesn't seem as equipped with knowledge as
No.
perhaps she could be. It's time now for Tony's travel.
I'm
Stop
really.
asking me questions.
What do you want?
I'm getting so hot.
Hey Tony, what
Tony
language do
says
they
she's
speak
getting
in Poland?
hot.
I don't know. I'm just helping out.
Oh,
All right.
my gosh. Well, Tony,
so
thank
funny.
you for the
Thank
information.
Thank you. Tony
gave
Nita Hull,
us.
everybody.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
And Poland, thank you for tuning into our show. You're not yet lost. We believe in you.
Yeah, we love you, Poland. Thank you.
Paula, you'll be on the road in the coming weeks as usual. Where are you going to be performing as we approach
You know, Adam,
The
I
dead
just
of winter.
hate promoting myself. It's awkward.
Well-
It's the one part of my job that I really don't like.
Well, then I apologize and withdraw the question. Moving on to the
I'll be in
next...
San Francisco on New Year's Eve at the Sidney Goldstein Theater, that was formerly the Norse, and I'll be in Salt Lake City, Utah on January 17th at the Grand Theater.
All right. Heading to Salt Lake City, huh?
What?
I said you're heading to Salt Lake City.
This is what I heard you say. Hemda.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I heard you.
Only Rick was in it!
Hemda, Salt Lake City. Yeah, that's
All right,
exactly what so many of us were thinking.
And I want our listeners to know that Paula will have Poundstone pussy pillows available for sale at these events.
That is correct.
How's the pussy pillows doing, Paula?
They are flying off the shelf,
Are they
Adam.
really?
Yeah, they are.
To recap for our listeners, Paula has decided to market a range of new cat toys because she was given 30 pounds of catnip
35 pounds of catnip.
by, wait, don't tell me, executive producer Doug Berman. And in order to deal with the overflow of catnip in your garage, you're now selling these little cat toys.
Yeah.
You want to describe them?
Well, they're little pillows, as
Okay.
Adams pointed out. My assistant Wendell has been stitching them in a small factory I've created in my son's whole bedroom, and they each have I don't know, what are they, about maybe 3 inches by 2 inches, and it's a little pillow filled with catnip with a cat joke on one side, and on the other side I can autograph
You
it
personalize it.
to your own personal.
And at the
cat.
moment, they're only available at your shows.
That is correct. Soon they'll be available on our website.
When we start, because our website is, I heard today out in the street that our website is like,
It's almost finished.
Yeah,
The
it's
new-
like gonna
the new
launch any
website.
second.
I mean, we do have a website, Poundstone.com,
Right.
but it's being redone as well. There's a new one about to launch.
with an emphasis on the podcast and the pussy pillows.
Exactly. Any minute.
Now,
minute
I've got to
now.
say that when you first described this scheme, before there ever actually was one of these toys,
Yes.
I sort of, to be naughty, suggested that we should call them Poundstone's pussy pillows.
Yeah.
And it seems like that name is stuck. How are you feeling about that?
Well, good. I mean, I think of it as, an alternative word for cat, not,
Not
not-
what?
well,
What?
it's not a sexual thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were thinking that?
No, I was thinking
Oh,
you.
Paula!
I was thinking you were thinking. Adam, answer the phone.
Oh. Who's there?
No, I'm kidding. Adam, I have a cute little cat story.
Okay.
My cat Clue hid in the pantry and peed on 3 boxes of soda cans. I had to wash 36 cans of soda a couple of times in order to get the smell off.
You had to wash 36 cans of soda.
A couple of times.
And then you just decided they were okay and drinking the soda right out of the can there.
Yeah. It's a cute little cat story.
That's not a cute little cat. There's nothing cute about that.
Absolutely. Cute little cat story.
Really? All right. Well, Paula will have Poundstone pussy pillows available for sale at those events, like I said. And you can find a complete list of her upcoming performances at the aforementioned, still under renovation, paulapoundstone.com. We'll be back after this. According to climate scientists, we have 10 years and 6 weeks until the Earth begins to become uninhabitable.
Hey, if you like your podcast to be focused and well-researched, and your podcast host to be uncharismatic, unhorny strangers who have no interest in horses, then this is not the podcast for you.
Yeah, and what's your deal? I'm Emily.
I'm Lisa,
Our show's called Baby Geniuses.
and its hosts are horny adult idiots. We discover weird Wikipedia pages every episode.
We discuss institutional misogyny.
We ask each other the dumbest questions, and our listeners won't stop sending us pictures of their butts.
We haven't asked them to stop, but they also aren't stopping.
Join us on Baby Geniuses.
Every other week on MaximumFun.org.
Hi, it's me, April Wolf, the host of Switchblade Sisters and co-writer of the new horror film Black Christmas.
And I'm Katie Walsh, film critic and occasional host of Switchblade Sisters.
We're here to announce that for one episode, we will be doing something a little different. Much like Jeff Goldblum and David Cronenberg's The Fly, I will be going through a truly disturbing transformation.
April will transform from the interviewer into the interviewee. I will be asking her all about her new film, Black Christmas, her writing process, and ongoing existential dread.
But I will also be discussing John Carpenter's perfect masterpiece, Prince of Darkness.
You guys seen any movies you like?
So tune in to Switchblade Sisters for a one-of-a-kind episode with April Wolf and me, Katie Walsh.
See you then.
Only the corrupt I listen to now.
On this day in unremarkable history, Bobby Fischer said, "Please pass the salt." No, you took your finger off it. It's my turn.
Welcome back, all you nobodies. Hey, Paula Poundstone. Do you have any messages?
I have a message.
Damn it.
Adam, this
Yeah.
week I have a message
Okay.
for the listeners.
Now, Paula, I just want to say that when you do this simple sample dialogue that we get to every week, increasingly there's a really long ramp up to even getting to the dialogue.
Yeah.
Where you're spelling out the need for it. And I feel like our listeners might be on that page already.
Adam, I know I speak for both of us when I say we love making this podcast.
We do.
And I think it also has been valuable. Let's face it, we've practically saved Thomas Coyne's life.
Yeah.
He's been dragged somewhere by a bear, and with the help of dedicated nobodies, we're on the verge of finding him.
We're not.
Unfortunately, the only way we can continue to make the show is if we increase the numbers of listeners we reach.
And there's any number of ways to do that. We could put the show on YouTube, I'm hearing.
As you know, I'm saving up the money I make selling, among other things, Poundstone pussy pillows, which are delightful, fresh catnip toys handmade at Poundstone Incorporated.
And not what you were thinking out there.
At
Shame
my
on you.
live shows. I'm saving the money to buy commercial time for Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, the comedy podcast, during the Super Bowl.
That's great.
Which costs $5.25 million for 30 seconds. But there's a possibility I might not make it. The best way to spread the word about our podcast is word of mouth. Each listener sharing with their friends and family that they enjoy listening to Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, the comedy podcast. But that can be an awkward conversation.
And here is where we part ways.
I have written this week some simple sample dialogue to ford that stream. Try this.
Okay.
Listener's friend. Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I was getting my hair and nails done. Listener. Since when do you prioritize that? Listener's friend, since recently. I don't like to leave the house without having my hair and nails done. Eunice. That's a person named Eunice. Could you move? You're in my light. Fellas, it's a little harsh. Could you make it softer?
Uh-oh.
Listener, you brought a lighting crew to have lunch with me? And who's Eunice? What's up with you? Listener's friend. Well, remember I told you I was doing my 23andMe? Papa, can you hear me? Listener, yeah, remember I told you not to because they give your information to the government? Listener's friend, well, Nikki Onstein, what a beautiful, beautiful name. I did it anyway, and I found out that I'm related to Barbra Streisand. Listener, that's ridiculous. Listener's friend, people who need people.
Are we really doing this?
But guess who's gonna be dessert? Listener, there's something I never told you before because it felt too awkward. See, Adam?
Really?
But I listen to Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, the comedy podcast. Listener's friend. Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know when he takes me in his arms. Listener, will you stop that and listen to me? Listener's friend, the world is bright. All right. What's the difference if I say I'll go away? Listener,
I'm gonna leave.
oh, for Christ's sakes. Listener's friend, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. I'm not sure I can stop. It's in my DNA. Listener, I don't think it is. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, the comedy podcast, once had on Dr. Wayne Grody, a geneticist of UCLA School of Medicine, and listener's friend, when I know I'll be back on my knees someday for whatever my man is. I am his forevermore.
Good God.
Listener, he said 99.9% of the reams of genetics they dump on you have no real meaning at all. Besides, whether you are related to Barbra Streisand or not, this is awful. I know you did your 23andMe because you were feeling disconnected and wanted to feel grounded and part of something. I'm telling you, the laughter I get from listening to Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, the comedy podcast, is uplifting and healing. It makes me feel human enough to let someone in traffic in front of me.
I'm going to go watch the game.
Listener's friend. Wow. Really? Thanks for telling me. I'm going to start listening to Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, the comedy podcast, too. Do you think they'll ever have Barbra Streisand on? Listener, I don't see why not. Tom Hanks is going to be on.
Okay. I guess applause are in order for that. I'm not sure about that. That's incredibly specific, Paula.
What do you mean?
As a sample dialogue for listeners who might want to, talk to their friends.
Well, if someone has a friend that has done their
that-
23andMe and believes as a result that they're related to Barbra Streisand and can't stop singing her songs and can't leave the house without their hair and
We
nails
don't even know
done
such a person
and
exists.
can't go to lunch without a lighting crew, I think this is the perfect dialogue to help them.
Well, listeners, if you're
You're a
out there and
heartless
you
bastard if you wouldn't want to help somebody like that.
look, hey,
Adam,
hey,
answer
hey.
the phone.
What? I don't want.
Answer the phone.
I really don't want to get the phone, Paula.
Adam, answer the phone.
Hello.
Adam, it's me, Winnie Feynman.
Hi, Winnie Feynman.
I can't believe I got through to you on the phone line. I'm so.
Are you using a
lucky.
landline?
I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
And I just love you so much.
Winnie-
To me, you're piquant. And I mean that in the third use. You have a lively charm. Did you get the birdhouse I sent you?
A birdhouse?
I sent you a birdhouse.
Winnie, I'm not getting anything that you're sending me, and I'm going to
What?
ask you. I'm going to ask you to not send me things anymore because it's uncomfortable.
Adam,
Yeah.
it's so important to me that you get the things that I send you because I love you so much. You're piquant.
Where's this
And you're
love coming from, Winnie?
You're so.
How about Paula?
you're
You love
so-
Paula too, don't you?
I don't love Paula at all because she questions you, and you're right about everything, Adam.
Oh, yeah?
I love you so much.
Okay.
Could I have a picture? Would you send me a picture?
No. No, Winnie. I'm not going to send you a picture of me.
Mom, did you send him the birdhouse?
Uh-oh, there's a mom involved?
I live with my mother, Adam, right now. I'm living with my mother, but I would much rather live with you. You are so
No.
wonderful.
You're definitely not going to live with me
are-
at any point,
You
Winnie.
are so wonderful. And the way you keep me at arm's distance.
This is the first time I've longed for that Mike Boom Boom guy. Because he's at least he doesn't make me quite this uncomfortable.
I gotta go, Adam. I have to take out the trash. Look I really love you. Take care. Bye.
Take care, Winnie. Well, that was weird.
Boy, she really likes you.
Yeah, I guess so. These callers that we're starting to pick up on the show, Paula, they're equally upsetting as the hand puppets. I gotta say, they both are of a piece.
Oh my gosh, I think Tom Hanks is gonna love all of it when he gets here. Fuck you, Anthony. I don't know why you would leave that llama here for a whole fucking weekend and
we
eat the
don't know
petty
where
force.
Anthony gets his black market animals, and he might not know where to put his llama.
I don't have my ear to the ground on animal abductions, but I think he's getting them from the LA Zoo or something.
No,
that's what it seemed like. Because they're big animals usually, like a llama. Where would you just get a
let's
llama?
start spray painting the animals that he brings here, and if they show up back at the zoo, we'll know.
Or we could tag their ears or something.
Or tag their ears.
Yeah,
That's probably
yeah,
better than
yeah,
spray
that's-
paint.
yeah, I don't think they want to spray
Okay.
paint a llama.
Yeah. No, point taken. Point taken.
Yeah, I think we might be going to the Hooskow for spray painting a llama.
Yeah, well, what's
that's
the llama
not
doing
good.
in our studio? Is
Yeah,
what I
well,
wanna
it
say.
ate the petty for us.
Anyway, remember our email address again is nobodylistens2paula.poundstone at gmail.com.
And you can find me and Adam on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can get my remarkably soft tri-poly blend t-shirts with the self-portrait on the left breast and the memorable quote on the back at paulapoundstone.com as well.
That's a great shirt. Everybody should get it. And
They're remarkably soft. Do you know why they're remarkably soft, Adam?
Why?
Because they're made with a tri-poly blend.
see, you're just doing that to get me. You're getting at me again because you know and I know that I believe, and I'm certain of this, that tri-poly isn't a thing, and you just mispronounced it one day, and now it's a thing for you.
No, it's tri-poly blend.
No, it's not.
Adam, get the phone. Answer the phone.
How come every time we argue, the phone rings?
Yeah, Adam, get the phone.
All right. Hello.
Hey, Adam, it's me, Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Man, you are so
Mike,
right
what's your
about
full
that
name again?
Poly blend, man. Boom Boom, Mike Boom Boom.
What's your last name, Mike?
Bonifet.
Bonifet.
It's Mike Boom Boom Bonifet.
Okay.
Adam Felba. So good to talk to you, man. I love you. You're so
thank
great.
you, Mike. Thank you.
You were right about this tri-poly thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck is she talking about?
Well,
There's no tri-poly blend.
No, it's
I don't know
not.
how you work with her. She is a bitch. I'm
Hey,
telling you.
hey, Mike. I will not have you talking about Paula Poundstone in that
the
way,
way
Mike.
You put up with
Take
me,
it
you're
back.
So patient.
Yeah. You can't talk to her about her like that, Mike.
Yeah,
She's a
yeah.
dear friend of mine.
Okay, all right, but you know what I mean, right?
Well, I think you mean that you want to call her a bitch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Okay, see you.
Yeah, it
and me.
wasn't that.
High
You,
five, high five.
no, I'm not
over
going to
the
high
phone.
five you, Mike. One, we're on the phone.
High five over the phone.
No,
Man, you were
no,
great.
Michael, I'm not going to high five you.
You were great. Man, you know what? I gotta go. But I'll see you after the game.
No,
on
you won't,
Friday.
Michael.
I'll see you after the game on Friday.
No, we won't see
How
each
we
other.
usually get together after the
We
game.
never
on
get
Friday.
together. We never get
I
together,
love
Mike.
hanging out with you.
How's the Trans Am coming, Mike?
It's good. It's good. And thanks again for the fuzzy dice, man.
I
That was
didn't
so-
send you fuzzy dice, Mike.
That was so thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bye,
All right,
Mike.
bye, Adam. Good bitch.
Wow, Paula, I apologize for that.
Wow, boy, that guy really is simpatico with you.
Yeah, no, I don't. See, I don't want to claim any association with him. I don't think we're simpatico at all.
You don't?
No, I think we have nothing in common, and I don't want fans like that.
But you know what? I think it's great that you hang out with him after the games and
I don't.
stuff.
I don't even know what
That's
game he's
nice.
talking about.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
All right, everybody.
Whoa, boy, what a full show we've had.
It really has been a great show. We want to thank everybody. Here's how we do it. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is hosted by Paula Poundstone and yours truly, Adam Felber. Produced by Paula Poundstone, Adam Felber, Bonnie Burns, Ken Lezebnik, and Tony Anita Hull. Technical direction by Ray Horseman and mixing by Anthony Alfaro. Special thanks to tonight's house band, Alexei Chevelik!
Nice work.
And thanks to our guest, Jim Hardie of Tree People. Security muscle is provided by Tyler, the Studio City behemoth Burke. You should see this guy. He's ripped. Transcription services for the show provided by Transcribe Me. For your special Paula Poundstone discount, use code Paula Poundstone when placing your order at transcribeme.com.
That's our show for tonight. Won't somebody please listen to me?
Where'd I put my country? It seems like I had it just a few minutes ago.
It's bigger than the UK.
So it shouldn't be this hard to find.
It's bigger than Italy.
But I can't see it. Wait a minute. There it is.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Audience supported.